Welcome back, everyone, to OpenLine. Glad you're with us. We're talking about the music industry tonight, breaking into the music industry, and New Roots. The founders of New Roots are joining us, and they help people break into the music industry, specifically addressing the gender gap. And so we have Sheridan Gates, Mark Thress, joining us on Zoom. We've kind of set up on the first part of the show just kind of what's out there right now, and there's certainly the need, but tell us again, how does this work? New Roots, what is it, a weekend? I mean, how does this all work? Walk us through what you're doing here.
Yeah, I can jump in there. It's a 3-day experience that we do 3 times a year, and we welcome in women from all around the country that are interested in moving to Nashville to pursue a career, or artists that are already here but are new here. And basically, we take them through kind of start to finish of a song process. So there's we bring in Songwriting Mentors. They get a nice photo session and style shoot, photo shoot and style session, so they get to leave with some nice content. We bring in industry executives and people in all parts of the industry to come and talk to the girls, so they get this one-on-one Q&A time, and then they get to record a song in a studio on Music Row, and then ultimately end the weekend with a performance in a writer's round. And so we give them really, really hands-on experiences while they're here, and we keep it small, only about 8 women, so that they all can get a lot of hands-on one-on-one time. But we really want it to be a safe place for these girls to ask questions. When I moved here, I kind of was just thrown into some situations, and I was, it can be kind of intimidating to ask what some might consider a really simple or naive question, but that's all questions are welcome at New Roots. And so the girls get to kind of bond. They stay in an Airbnb together, so they're really getting all that bonding time together. And many of them continue songwriting, all night long. It's a really fun time for them.
And how long have you been doing this? Mark, you can take that.
Yeah, since July. Since the end of July. Yeah.
So this is new.
So this is fairly new. Yes, the idea actually came together. Sheridan and I sat down, and we were supposed to be writing a song together, and that turned into a 4-hour planning session of us actually coming up with New Roots. So we realized that we had a similar vision to be supportive in a way that helped artists get the things that we wish we used to have, or we wish that we had rather. And so we put together New Roots and had our first event at the end of July. And this is our 3rd so far.
Your 3rd. And you said it's small, only about 8, is that right? I mean, so how many people would be in it? And they, walk us through that a little bit. And it's 3 days, is that right? Or how long is it?
It's 3 full days, yes. Sheridan, you can go if you'd like.
Yeah, it's 3 days. But the idea is that we're building a much bigger community. So all the girls that go through this 3-day program, we keep them all really, really connected. So they get into a big group chat with all the girls, past and present, that have gone through New Roots. We give them a contact sheet that's constantly updating with all of the people in the industry, managers, PR people, producers, songwriters, anybody that has generously offered up their contact information for these girls. They have this list, and they'll have it forever, and it'll continue to grow and evolve with people that Mark and I really trust and value. So they have that with them whenever they choose to maybe move here and start their career. But most importantly, we made this for the community, so that these girls can continue to support each other. They can let each other know when they've got a show coming up, or they've got a question about a contract, or they just have a question and they want to have a mentor to be there for them. That's ultimately why we made New Roots, and hope that this community will continue to grow and grow and grow until we've got thousands of girls that are connected through our alumni platform.
Now, see, and I'm fascinated again. This isn't my world, but I'm very interested in all this. Can you don't have to give names, but is there a story, or maybe it's a typical story of somebody who came and went through this and benefited? You know, is there, you know, your typical sort of person, woman, I guess, who goes through this program, how she came to find out about it, what she's done since, and I know it's new, but is there a typical example, I guess? I'll let either of you take that.
Well, yeah, what comes to mind actually is Grace, Sheridan. So Grace is a good story. She spent some time in Virginia. She's been singing for a long time, but she really wanted to take her music seriously and take the next step. So she was actually in New York for the fair majority of her life and got in contact with us. And I had known her for a little while, so we kind of touched base on new roots. And she actually was planning to move to Florida with her family and just kind of figure things out. Well, she decided to take the leap and start developing her career in the industry and really, you know, get some boots on the ground in Nashville with our most recent event. And so since then, she's been very successful. She started performing even more and actually got an internship here in town at one of the management companies. So not only is she now integrated within the community here in Nashville with a management company, but she's very prolific with her New Roots community and is now performing and writing and really making a big step for her career in the industry. So we're proud of that because, you know, that is a great example of the trust that these artists build with one another, and from joining the program, they see how, you know, serious and committed we are to our vision and to our mission. And I think ultimately, like Sheridan said, it's just a soft place to land. You know, you're coming from New York and making your way all the way down to Nashville, and that's kind of scary. But to be able to take the leap of faith and have a community supporting you is hugely important.
I think it is, yeah, and being able to talk to people and that kind of thing. Is that typical that it is somebody moving here from New York? And Sheridan, you said, isn't that where you moved from New York? People move in from out of state and they come here, or is it somebody who, I don't know, they just want, they're from Nashville and they just kind of want to get into the music industry here? Or is it typically people moving in from out of state all alone, trying to start things on their own? And Sheridan, I'll let you take that.
Yeah, I mean, we've had both. It's some of, you know, we've even had students from Belmont that just don't, you know, they're on their campus, but they haven't made the leap to the real world, quote unquote, yet. But so we've had a mix. We've had women from Arizona, Virginia, Florida come. But there's a lot of women here that, you know, one example, another girl that came through has lived here for a few years and is, you know, she's already set up and playing a bunch of writers rounds, but she was feeling really stagnant in her career and not quite sure. She was sort of stuck in this cycle and wasn't making any forward progress. And so I said, come, you'll still find value in what we can teach you. And so she came through the program and she gave us, it was so sweet. She was posting about her experience on her social page, and it was really, I think, gratifying for Mark and I to kind of be like, this is why we do this program. It's so that we can just give girls this forward momentum and this empowerment that they didn't otherwise have. And that can come from people that are brand new or people that have just been kind of stuck and living here for a while.
How tough is it to make it in this business? I would think it's really hard, right? I mean, I guess, has it only gotten harder? Are there only more people doing it now than ever before? What are the odds? And maybe that's too depressing to talk about for people that, but how tough is it to make it? What's kind of your speech there?
I think it's very tough to make it, and yes, you know, there's more people now than ever that are doing it. I think the question is, you know, making it and sustaining the career, because I think more importantly now with everything that's going on social media, you know, you can peak and have this humongous song, and then all of a sudden you better have a team behind you, and you better be writing prolifically and all those kinds of things. So I think it is challenging. And what we try to do, and we do our best at this, is, we know the elements of what it takes to stack up, all these different things to become an overnight success in 7 years or 10 years or however long, and so we do our best to really build that relationship. And it takes a long time, and it takes a lot of things to happen together and correctly and appropriately. And then to be able to continue that, it takes really close relationships with people that support you and know what's best for you. And in terms of having a long career, you look at the Taylor Swifts of the world, she and others have a resource pool of people that understand the business but also understand the individual. And to be able to have the energy to continue and really put yourself in those positions is special. And so we do our best here at New Roots to provide that community and to also provide the resources, like Sheridan also mentioned, the contact list that you have. When we first started, we thought, well, each of us took 5 years to develop these relationships, and we're going to turn them over to these artists who are coming into town or either here already, because we know how long it takes to build those relationships and to build those partnerships. And so maybe if we can give someone the opportunity to at least make the connection, to at least have that first conversation, then maybe we can be the start of the next, Taylor Swift's or something like that, But we do our best.
I love it. Okay, yeah, go ahead, Sheridan, go ahead.
Yeah, I always say to women, it's a business of resiliency is really all it is. You're gonna get knocked down. You're gonna get told no. That's life, So it's can you get back up? Can you keep going? Can you take the next step? And ultimately, you will succeed. And one of the biggest things that I tell these girls is that you need to dig deep and figure out what you want to say and who you are, because ultimately there's nobody else like you on this earth. So if these girls can really get clear about their image, their sound, what they want to say, what they believe in, there's only one of them. So if you keep going and you keep putting yourself forward and nobody else but you will ultimately succeed. And that can mean a million different things.
Yeah.
Or everybody's got a different definition of success. It might be playing intimate 50-seat venues for the rest of your life, and that's amazing. Or it might be selling out arenas. It depends on the artist. But I think just for any artists that are out there saying, how the heck do I get started, it starts with being yourself and being resilient.
There's only one. All right, I like that. All right, we'll take a break, come back, continue the discussion. There's the number if you want to call in, 615-737-PLUS, 615-737-7587. I want to talk about the impact of social media on all this. We'll take a break. Be back right after this.